Welcome to QIC-EY Now. No opportunity wasted for making moments matter for children and youth. We're exploring the competency support cultural connections, and we're starting right now. Supporting cultural connections starts by initiating open and honest conversations with children and youth about who they are. Before child welfare professionals can do that, they must have an awareness of how their own background impacts their perceptions and interactions. But what does this really mean? Let's hear from Vincent, a professional with lived expertise.
I believe culture is so broad, right? There's different cultures. There's home culture. I mean, I'm a Puerto Rican, right? I was raised in a Dominican foster home. I, you would think Hispanic, right? No, the dynamics are completely different. The foundation of what they believe in are different as well. I mean, it was a beautiful home, loved it, but it's not what I was used to. It was still different. So even in a Hispanic household, being Puerto Rican or another Puerto Rican household, they might have their own home culture. And when we are placed in a separate home rather than what we're used to, automatically, even if we get into that subcategory of Hispanic, or African American, well, like it's still always going to be different. We're always going to have that culture shock. It's going to be there, right? So for our youth, they're still young in age where that might be a little bit more traumatic. Might be There might be lingering effects in the far future. You lose your sense of self. Now you have to work towards, or you're expected to adapt as youth in care. And we want resilient youth, right? But that's easier said than done. The adaptation of this was my environment. Maybe it wasn't a great environment, but it still was my environment, what I identified as. And now I'm being placed somewhere where I am not used to the customs of this home. That could be a good thing or a bad thing, but whether it's good or bad, it's still a cultural shock.
Now that we've heard an example, let's wrap this up with some things you can do to support cultural connections right now. Be aware of the significant role that community plays in how children and youth view themselves, their relationships, their experiences, and the world around them. Because connections provide a deep sense of belonging and community, you can help children and youth to feel safe by assisting them to stay connected with their traditions, families, religions, values, beliefs, rituals, and ethnic foods. Culture is multidimensional for individuals. People who seem to share the same background may experience and express themselves differently. Take the time to listen to what each child or youth has to say about the aspects of their background that are most important. This will help you to support the wide range of connections that children and youth have and want to maintain. Now is the time to support cultural connections and to make moments matter for children and youth. The QIC-EY is 100% funded by the Administration for Children and Families of the United States Department of Health and Human Services.